Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and it's time for another challenge over at the Jaded Blossom blog. This one you need to use a stencil. Hey, so I am using today our border dies, the card mat dies, our adorable coffee bean stencil, and the spring mugs. So there we go. So this is a super quick and easy card. So I'm grabbing my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station, and I've already cut my background paper out. This is from Echo Park's Celebrate Easter 6-inch pad. And I cut that out with the card mat dies. And I'm just going to pop that on my Make Art Station. It's just an easy way for me to quickly, blend a background and not make a mess. So that is... I think that's from Tailored Expressions too. Yeah, it is. It's their circle masking stencil. So that is my colored mug, and I colored those with colored that with Copic markers, and then I cut it out using my Gemini machine with a 0.4 border. So easy peasy stuff. The colors will be listed on my blog. So now I'm pulling out my Vintage Photo Distress ink, and like I said, I have my Tailored Expressions masking stencil. That's the largest circle, I believe. And I've got a Tailored Expressions blending brush here, and I'm just going to apply a light coat to the circle area. So what I'm trying to do is sort of create a spotlight effect for my mug. And you can do this on pattern paper. It doesn't have to be plain paper. So that's what I'm doing here. So now there is the adorable coffee bean stencil. So I'm going to pop that on top, or actually I'm popping it behind, just making sure my circle is still lined up with my paper there. And this is all in real time. I didn't speed this up at all. And I'm just going to pop my magnets back in place, and then I'm going to blend my ink a little heavier. So that's what I got going on here. And like I said, I'm making a little spotlight for my rabbit cup. I didn't use these in our last release, and I thought, I got to use these. I colored them up. I might as well use them. Super cute stuff. There we go. So like I said, everything is always listed on my blog. I list everything that I use, right down to the paper and everything else. So, you can find everything there. There we go. Cute stuff, eh? So that is going to give a little home to my rabbit mug. So that's the plan. So this is a piece of, I believe it's Simon Says Stamp Cotton Candy cardstock. And it's cut at 4.25 by 11 inches, scored at 5.5. I'm also bringing in the word bubble dies. Sorry, guys. And I stamped that and out of white paper tray ink cardstock, and cut it out using the awesome word bubble die. So now I'm going to apply this to my A2 size vertical card. This I'm using crafty Simon Says Stamp Craft Tacky ink, Craft Tacky glue. Oh, I'm tired. I have no excuses. There we go. So I'm just applying some of that Craft Tacky glue to my card mat. And the nice thing about using glue is you got a little bit of wiggle time, so you can get it straight. Because I always say I'm a little challenged at getting things straight nowadays. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure that's stuck down well. Super cute stuff, eh? Now I'm going to grab a piece of graph paper, just so when I line stuff up that it's straight. So that's what I'm doing here. I just find it easier. There's a graph on the Tim Holtz glass mat, which I do use, but I just find it's a little glary and it's hard to line up. So I'm using the my graph paper there. So that is a piece of the same pattern paper. It has a cup. You know how you get a border page, a page with a bunch of borders? I just cut it a border at about 1 inch wide. There we are. And I'm just applying it, and I'm trying to line it up across the bottom of my card base. There we go. Just trying to keep things straight. And the yellow on that graph is kind of wonky, and it's like that on purpose, but I'm going to fix that a little later, because at first it doesn't bother me, but then it starts to bother me, so I've got to fix it. So there we go. So I'm just going to quickly decide what this is going to look like. So there is also another sentiment from that same stamp set, that, what's it called? Spring mugs. and I stamped it onto white cardstock and cut it out, just, you know, cut it out with my paper trimmer. So that is a border die from that same Border Dies 1 set from Jaded Blossom. And I cut it out of the same paper as my pink card base. So I'm just going to try and line that up, you know, have the bumps even on either side, if you know what I mean. There we go. And I'm going to line up another one on the bottom. And I'm still using that Craft Tacky glue from Simon Says Stamp. There we go. And I'm just going to pop that on the bottom. And I'm trying to make kind of like a, I don't know, like a little spot for my rabbit to sit, and also draws your eye to the sentiment, you know, just kind of gives you that, I don't know, gives you some weight to the design. I don't know, that's what I'm going for. So there we are. So that is, like I said, Paper Trank white cardstock that I stamped on, and I'm going to add that to my card. And this is when it starts to bother me that it doesn't look straight. So I get the white strip of the white sentiment strip on straight, and I realize it doesn't look straight because of the way that the yellow's wonky. So I've got to fix that. So I do think about that while I'm getting everything else done. So I'm just going to turn my card base over, and I'm just going to cut off the overhang of everything here. So everything is flat right now to my card base, which is nice and easy. I do add some dimension, of course, with the mug because I can't help myself. But, you know, I can't live without foam tape and dimensionals and all that business. There we go. So it's funny that I'm making a coffee card because, you know, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink it at all. I love the smell of it. My daughter drinks it in the house. My husband doesn't even drink coffee. I don't know why. Like, we just don't. And it's not like we have anything against coffee. We just don't drink it. I don't like the taste of it. I love the smell, mind you. My daughter, of course, loves it, so that works out because she drinks it in our house. I'm more of a tea person. But I find myself making a lot of coffee cards, which is kind of funny because a lot of my friends do drink coffee. So, you know, it works out, right? There we are. So now I'm adding some 3M foam tape to the back of this spring mug. And I am going to pop that up onto my card base. There we are. Now you'll notice that there's some white detailing on that image. And I always use a Secura white jelly roll pen, and my new favorite size is a number 10. Just gives a bold line. And there we go. I'm going to pop up my word bubble die with the same 3M foam tape because, you know, why not, right? Let's keep it simple. What I like about the 3M foam tape is that you can tear it. You don't have to always cut it, which is kind of handy. So that's what I'm doing. I'm tearing it and cutting it when I have to. And I go through a lot of this stuff, actually. It's kind of my favorite. That, along with Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, are my favorite foam tapes to use. I do use the Doris strips, though. Those are pretty handy dandy. There we go. So I'm just adding all of my foam tape because I like to keep things like evenly lifted so it doesn't get all, you know, wonky in the mail. So there we are. So we're going to add Some Bunny Loves Coffee. And then it'll say Java Great Spring underneath, which is kind of cute, I think. There we go. So it's looking cute so far, but it's bothering me. So I'm pulling out a same die from that same set. And I cut that same pattern paper out. And I'm just going to tape it down to a piece of that Stampin' Up! Paper. It's like a pad of paper that I craft on sometimes. And I do keep pieces of it. I don't throw it out when I'm done. I chop it up and I keep using it. And now I'm taking that same ink and I'm ink blending because I'm thinking I want to bring in some more brown across that area to make it look straight. And I left this in because I want to show you my process. You know, I've never claimed to be, you know, perfect at this. And when I'm crafting, I constantly change things all the time. And you see, I bring it in and I think, you know what? I don't like it. I don't like it. Maybe I'll make it work. Nope, I hate it. And that's what happened. I hated it. So I thought, nope, I can't use it. I just can't. I don't like it. So now I cut out a piece of, another piece of paper from that Echo Park Celebrate Easter. That green is from that pad and I'm trying it again and it's like, no, I hate it. I just hate it. So I'm going to add a green strip. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay that so I get a straight line. It'll cover that yellow that's kind of wonky, and I'll get a straight line across. There we go. Yeah, because I just couldn't stand the way that the yellow was wonky. I liked it in the beginning, but as soon as I started getting everything else on the card, I didn't like it. It kind of made it look like I made a mistake and not a design choice, and that's never good. There we go. So I'm just trying to make sure that's nice and straight there. And then we'll trim off the edges like I did. There we go. I don't use a lot of solid, like colored cardstock for my card bases. I should. I've got a lot of it in my house. So I keep thinking I should pull that out a little more often. I'm getting low on my favorite, the Paper Tray Ink in white, because the shipping to Canada is horrendous and the border is closed, you know, due to COVID. So I can't go and pick it up at Ryden's or anything. So it's a little bit dear to ship it here because it's too heavy, and it's just killer. Let me tell you, it's a killer shipping fee to Canada. So it's just not worth it. So I'm trying to stretch that white as long as I can because it's my favorite. So now I'm going to pull out some art glitter glue. This is the first time I've used art glitter glue. And I'm put it in a little bottle because I got a huge bottle of it. And of course, it was a lot thinner than I realized. So that kind of made a mess. So I had to clean that up. So now I am adding Trinity Stamps. They're called Chocolate Chip Clay Heart Mix. And I'm going to sprinkle a few of those on my card base. They kind of look like little coffee beans, but they're little hearts, which is kind of fun. And I'm just going to add a few of those. I'm using the Studio Katia embellishment wand to do that. So I'm just quickly popping those on my card base. And then I think we'll pretty much call it done. So this was a super easy one. So at least I think so. You know, remember, you can always ink blend onto pattern paper. You don't have to have a solid piece of white cardstock to ink blend on. You can. It always looks good. It's a safe bet, but you can always use your pattern paper, you know, especially those patterns that are more white in the background. Pull them out, use them. Anyways, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog and see the design team members' inspiration for this challenge. And, you know, make a project of your own using a stencil and link it up at the Jaded Blossom blog. I'd love to see it. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hopefully we'll see you soon in my next video. Bye, everyone.